Alrighty, well, it's time for this month's CMSC Corner, and this is the segment in which we chat with leading figures in the world of large volume and close tolerance 3D measurement systems. The Coordinate Metrology Society, our partner and the leading organization for professionals in this space, works very closely with us to bring you this regular feature here on Quality Digest Live. Well, this CMSC Corner is going to be a little bit different for the simple reason that Dirk and I just attended the Coordinate Metrology Society's conference in person earlier this week. As always, we saw lots of old friends, we made some new ones, and we witnessed firsthand much of the emergent hardware, software, and peripherals that really have defined the CMSC for more than 3 decades. And Dirk, we've been going to this show now. You've been going to the show for like 12 years. Yeah. And it's incredible. You know, you do see a lot of people that you know, and you also see the evolution of a lot of this technology. It's really incredible to see.
Each year there's
new gadgets, new stuff.
Exactly.
New gadgets, new stuff.
More gadgets.
New gadgets, gadgets, gizmos. Geez.
Gadget is just a small gadget.
That's right. That's right. I think it's actually a girl on a beach. It's not a gadget. Yeah, well,
in
anyway.
a bikini. Okay.
You know, yeah, but anyway, at the show, I had the chance to chat with Keith Bevan, who is the delivery manager of training at the National Physical Laboratory in the UK, as well as the newly installed chairperson of the Society, the Coordinate Metrology Society, for the next 12 months. Keith and I talked about his experiences on the executive committee so far, what he looks forward to in his coming year as chairperson, and how metrology certification and training all kind of fit together. So let's have a listen. Hey, we're here at CMSC 2016. I'm talking to Keith Bevan of the National Physical Laboratory in the UK. Keith's also currently the vice chair of the CMSC Executive Committee, and he's going to be the full chair of the CMSC here in another couple of days or another day. Keith, you spent the last year as the vice chair of CMSC. In case anybody doesn't know, CMSC has a 3-year chair program. You're the vice chair for the first year, then you're the chair, and then you're the past chair the 3rd year. So this first year you saw it from the vice chair's perspective. Next year you'll be seeing it from the chair's perspective. So let's start by asking you, what did you see this year? What did you find out?
That it's a steep learning curve. That's the first thing that sprung to mind. All the different aspects, all the things that go on behind the scenes, all the things that you have to learn, and basically all the processes. It's been very, very interesting and eye-opening.
And in terms of next year, what are you looking forward to in terms of being the chair and being the man in charge?
That's a very good question. I'm looking forward to the challenge. I mean, that's the number one thing. Hoping I get it right. I mean, that's another thing. But yeah, I think it's going to be exciting, and that for me. It's yet again another challenge coming away from other things that I've done with the conference.
Now, you got involved really in a large way with the measurement zone and the education zone now this year, and a lot of other activity going on. So what can you tell us about what's going on in the measurement and education zone this year at CMSC 2016?
Okay, so this year what we're doing is we've got a very similar sort of shape and size to what we did in 2015. We've actually got 2 different areas this time though. We've got a measurement zone and an education zone. So within the measurement zone we're doing things like best practices on various different pieces of equipment such as arms, scanners, trackers, that sort of thing. And the idea is to, with that, give people the concept of best practice and let them have a play with pieces of the equipment if they've not used it before. We also have a robot that we're using, so again, it's just showing all the different technologies. But again, we've brought back for 2016 a competition, and the guys are trying to measure a car, so that's quite a challenge. Education zone, that's split into 2 sections, and within that section we've got e-learning. So we're covering things like dimensional metrology, we're covering things like measurement uncertainty. And that is to contribute towards some of the certification program that CMS has running at this moment in time. And the other area in there we have is different workshops. We're covering things like the Jeopardy game that we have. It's a bit of fun, but the questions are all associated with metrology. And then we've got a GD&T workshop, and then best practices with laser trackers.
Now, you mentioned certification program. That's a big part of this, along with training. So really, how do those 2 very important topics fit into what you're doing in the measurement zone and the education zone?
Well, the biggest aspect of it is that obviously a lot of people want to have certified employees doing various different tasks. And one of the things that's quite difficult to get nowadays is the underpinning knowledge that you need to be able to carry out the practices that are required for those pieces of equipment. So we're linking it all together, with the e-learning, with the Jeopardy game and so on. It is all questions that are associated with metrology, and it's linked to the 5 duty areas that you need to have good knowledge and understanding of to be able to take at least the level 1 certification exam.
Now you are, in case people couldn't tell from the accent, you are the first ever non-U.S. chair of the Coordinate Metrology Society. So first of all, how does that feel? And secondly, what do you think about from a perspective of an international look at these problems? What's similar about what these problems are across the world?
Okay, firstly, it's an honour to be able to take on the role, and that's really good. I like that from my point of view, from a personal point of view. The challenge across the field of metrology is the same everywhere. It doesn't matter whether you go back to the UK, other parts of Europe, anywhere, Asia. We have similar challenges. And I think we are global, and working together is the perfect way. Companies are global. There's UK companies in the US and vice versa. It's all about working together as a team.
Now, next year, 2017, is going to be in Utah, I understand, which will be a nice change from some of these warmer climes. It might still be a little bit warm in Utah. So what are we looking forward to? Do we have a sneak preview of what 2017 is going to look like?
Yeah, I think 2017 is going to be a challenge, but there's going to be elements of that I think we need to keep to ourselves at the minute.
A little mystery, a man of mystery.
Yeah, education will be to the forefront, that's for sure. And obviously looking at good practice and products, we're not going to change away from that. But more, from my perspective and my background to do with training, we want to really focus on some of that area, the educational side, driving this forward, getting people to understand the importance of having all that knowledge to be able to complement the wonderful equipment that people can see when they're in the exhibition hall.
Well, we'll be seeing a lot of Keith Bevan this next year. All of you, Quality Digest live audience, you'll be writing a couple of columns for us in CMSC Journal, CMSC World, as well as joining us at least once or twice more here on CMSC Corner on QDL. So, Keith Bevan, thank you again for joining us, and we'll look forward to a great year with you as the chair of the CMSC this year coming up.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. We've come to know Keith pretty well over the years. A really nice guy. He's been on the show a couple of times. We've seen him at CMSC, of course, many times. And like I say, he's been on Quality Digest Live. He's as you can tell there, he's very well spoken, very personable. He's smart. But he's not just book smart. He really gets it. He's a leader. I think he understands what's needed to move an organization forward, and he's really going to be a big asset to the CMSC. I think in this coming year. I think I explained in that video a little bit their kind of their triplicated chairperson deal where you are vice chair for a year, then you're chair for a year, then you're past chair for a year, and all 3 years you're very actively involved in steering the committee. So he's now chair, and I look forward to working with him really closely this coming year.
And so, you pointed out this is the first time somebody from outside of the U.S. has been chair. However, we should point out that the executive committee is not only mostly people from the U.S. because it's located here in the United States. We've got people from Australia, from the UK,
over the years.
Canada, that are members of the executive committee. So it is really kind of a very really almost an international flavor because a lot of these companies come from all over the world.
Yeah, and a lot of the presenters too. The white papers you're going to see are people from Asia and from Europe and from South America and everywhere. Really, I know I edit all their English. Such as it is, and it's but it's a great show. Really, if you haven't gone, if you do any work with large volume, close tolerance, 3D portable coordinate metrology, it's a lot there. I think I said 3D and coordinate. But if you do any work in that space, it's the show you really should look at attending. So check that one out going forward.
That's right.